Logan Paul appears to be very confused, and I'm here to bring some clarity to the situation. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Logan Paul and the cast from his Impulsive podcast responding to Candace Owens and many others who had negative reactions to his speech last year about you got to be an anti-racist. If you're white, use your white privilege to fight against racism, all of this and that and the third. Logan appears to be confused. He's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm speaking up for so-called people of color. Why is anybody attacking me? I'm the anti-racist. It doesn't make any sense. His sidekicks don't seem to know what's going on either. Maybe they're being truthful. Maybe they're lying. But whatever the case may be, I'm going to get down to the bottom of it. Now, we have a video to watch. And if you want to see this full podcast in its entirety, I'll link to that, as always, in the description box below. But let's watch a piece of the podcast together in an attempt to figure out what's going on and explain to them what's happening.
The video of me
anti-racist
speaking up about racism during the BLM movements went like re-viral. It caught some traction, and I was getting canceled by white supremacists, I think, or people who like follow that agenda.
Let's pause for a minute. When you're talking about white supremacists or those who follow that agenda, what are we saying exactly? Are you talking about white people or those who you feel like align themselves with racist white people? Like, let's have a clear definition of what you're saying right there, because if you're saying the latter part, then you're trying to call me a white supremacist or a white supremacist sympathizer. Let's just, define these things very clearly, Mr. Logan Paul.
For not being racist?
I said there's nothing more 2021 than a person of color, Candace Owens, calling out a white man for standing up for persons of color.
Oh, she's the one that came after you?
Yes.
Let's pause again right here. So, according to you, Mr. White Man, Candace Owens has no right to come against your friend Logan Paul because he's racist and whatever he says is correct. Nobody can have any kind of objections to what he's saying. Nobody can find fault in it. And if she's coming against him, that means that she wants to hurt herself. Maybe what he's saying is simply not correct. After all, somebody educated him because what he was reading from the sheet of paper or his laptop or whatever comes directly from your Robin DiAngelo's, your Tim Wise, and everybody else. So if he's educated one time, why not get educated again? And it's funny because a lot of these white people that claim to not be racist are the one that give guys like Logan Paul their talking points. But then when the black woman says something who is conservative, you want to dismiss that as white supremacist in nature. You guys are ignorant already, but let's keep on going.
Wait, is this the girl that did the Harry Styles dress thing? Is this the same girl?
I don't know, and I'll never talk about the topic ever again. Maybe yes. So. But I was blown away.
Oh, I get that.
Blown away by and honestly, like, regardless of her sentiment or thoughts on whether racism truly still exists or whether white people have it easier than people of color.
What did she say? What did she say?
I'm trying to find the tweet.
So
right
he'll find the tweet, but it made me feel so disgusting, dude. Like such a clear play for clout.
Okay, so why do you feel so disgusted? I mean, you know what? I'm kind of asking a rhetorical question, and I know what the answer is. Guys like this, a lot of white liberals like this, is how they feel. This is how they feel. When you don't pretty much toe the line, if you don't believe whatever they believe, whatever they think is the correct thing for black folks or people of color to do, they're disgusted. They want to discard you. They want to maybe even attack you. This is far too common. I've seen it over and over and over and over again. This is typical. He doesn't even know what's really going on, in my humble opinion. He appears to be kind of ignorant. He might kind of be a party bro or something like that. Might like to do drugs over there in California where they are right now recording this. I don't really know. But regardless, he is a prototypical white liberal that I cannot stand. Let's keep on going.
that involved a subject that should never be brought into clout plays. It was just
it was here. She tweeted, "Logan loves to challenge people in the boxing ring. I like to publicly challenge him to go a few rounds with me in a political debate. At Logan Paul, how about you stop by my show and explain to me how your checks notes more privileged than me because you're white and I'm not." And mind you, bro, this video is from like a year ago, and I'm not sure how it just caught any sort of traction, right? But
I mean, let's pause again. I mean, come on, Logan Paul, you're like a big celebrity. This podcast right here is from like yesterday. The one I'm looking at right now is from yesterday, not even the full 24 hours ago, and the audio has like 900,000 views on it. I mean, come on, man, let's stop playing games. You're a celebrity, so anytime you say something, it doesn't matter. It could be 20 years ago, it'd get brought back up depending upon the context of the situation because you're a high-profile guy. You just fought Floyd Mayweather. I mean, just stop. Come on, man. Just don't play ignorant like you say you're a smart guy, got a little bit of a brain, but you're trying to play ignorant. Cut it out.
I'm perplexed, to say the least. And I started to entertain this, actually. I ended up speaking with her, and there may be a future where we sit down and have a civil discourse because I think there's some meat on this bone. I really do. She's obviously a expert when it comes to debate, and I'm obviously an idiot for the most part. But
I agree with that.
I think part of my shtick is I'm able to educate myself because as much as I joke about it, I do care about this.
Well, see, what's happening is I can already tell. You just kind of going on Google and you typing in something like, okay, how to be anti-racist, how to not be a racist, how to be a good ally, how to combat racism. What can white guys do to help with Black Lives Matter? You just Googling that, and then whatever 2 or 3 things you find, you take that into your brain and have that be there, and that's what it is. If it lines up what you already think, you're kind of a liberal progressive guy, okay, cool. You're kind of perplexed because what you've been taught as a child and what you now know as an adult, it just kind of, it's a natural conflict between that and what Candace Owens says. That's why there's a conflict here.
This and I do have a semi-intelligent brain where I believe I'd be able to hold my own and what I just want to be a conversation.
It is of her belief that the these issues that many white people or many people claim people of color are up against do not exist. It's of her belief that we are at a point where we are equal in stature.
Oh, but see, he's upset. The guy over here with his crazy body language and holding the mic all crazy, like he's pretty much holding that mic hostage. He thinks that white people are superior. They are the number one in society, and it's up to white liberals that got money, that have a little bit of success or power like him to fix things. If there's a black person that thinks differently than him, then he wants to attack him because it goes against what he already thinks. Same thing with Logan Paul. Same thing with the other Malusian guy that's right there too. They're all the same, and they don't even really understand what's going on. From what I'm able to see, they may be trying to like play possum, playing ignorant. I don't really know, but from what I'm able to see just by observing right now, they're just ignorant, and they are kind of unwilling to see things differently. Maybe Logan Paul will go on Kennan's show and he might get that red pill. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know this guy from a can of paint. But from what I'm seeing right now, they're deep down in that liberal rabbit hole. And this guy over here especially is unwilling to seek oxygen and seek air to get out.
She believes that.
Yeah.
Which is,
and I'm sorry if that's not entirely correct, but that's the overall sentiment of her discussion is that.
That's how you feel. You're just giving your feelings. It's okay. Just say that. Don't say nothing. Just say that's how you feel because of your belief system.
That it is overstated that racism still exists in America and has such an adverse effect to people of color.
You know what's sad to me is how people stir up emotions like this.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you were trying to do a good thing. And
now, for time's sake, I'm going to kind of cut into what he's saying right here. Candace is not the one that's starting a promotion. These battles have been existing for years and years and years and years and years and years and years for a very long time. And we're dealing with stuff like critical race theory. See, what Jake Paul, Logan Paul, whatever his name is, what he does not understand is that what he said last year and that kind of viral speech, that could get put into somebody's curriculum in school. Okay, that can be taught right along critical race theory. Okay, whites are in control of everything. Whites are the reason why the country is so bad. And here's a popular YouTuber, Logan Paul. He was in a fight with Floyd Mayweather. Did you see the fight? Your mom might have saw the fight. Well, he's a really popular guy. He says the same thing that we all say. They can point to direct things that he said, and they can be manipulated for a particular purpose. That's what's happening right now with critical race theory. And at the end of it, it's teaching critical race theory. That is, it teaches kids to look at each other differently based on race, to judge based on race, to see themselves as superior or inferior. Now, is that what you want to do? I don't think so, or you shouldn't. That's why people like Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, myself, and everyone else that speaks out against this, that's why we do what we do, to counteract the narrative, to counteract the brainwashing. That's why. You could talk about clout, all this, that, and the third, but what are y'all doing? Y'all on the podcast that got sponsors and everything else. Let's not play dumb here, but I digress.
For somebody to sit in a hawk.
I'm going to move forward a little bit because there's one thing I wanted to kind of get to. I'm going to see if the guy says it here.
Now, this is the problem with the push for equality and for people to have actual equal rights in this country, is that when the saturation of news stories and when the dire desperation around George Floyd and around all these things starts to die down, you see people start to push the goal line back. You see people start to say, maybe this isn't such a big problem. And all of a sudden you start back right where you started with George Floyd again. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because
No, what are you trying to say here, sir? I don't really get it. So basically you're saying the George Floyd moment was a good thing because it brought us closer to social justice. So you may be kind of be in the same camp as Nancy Pelosi and George Floyd's girlfriend. Like, it was good that George Floyd died because you're able to get certain things done. And then here comes Candace wiping away all that good progress. Is that what you're saying? That's kind of what it sounds like. And again, you wouldn't be in unfamiliar territory. You wouldn't be by yourself. You're not the only white liberal that feels the same way, that you're glad that George Floyd died. This is a very common thought process that you might not know you're exhibiting right now, but I see it.
The urgency is reduced by this sort of conversation. That's why I almost am just like, why even entertain it, bro? Why even go and have it? It's like I'm
gonna leave that right there, because what he's gonna say here is like, why even do it? What's the point in going? And you know what? A lot of liberals feel that same way. They don't want to have talks with conservatives. They rather would just be in their kind of own little their own little silos, just doing their own thing. They don't really care to have talks with us. They want to get things done however they want to get it done. They don't really care about what I think, because I'm conservative. It don't matter if I'm black. It don't matter if I'm from the hood, which I could tell these guys are not. It doesn't matter if I have a deep understanding of the issues. It doesn't matter what I'm able to bring to the table. My influence doesn't matter. My intelligence doesn't matter. I think differently than they do, so they have no use for me. That's what it is. You're talking about, oh, we got to have unity. We got to have bipartisan stuff. Please. That's all bogus. That's why I say there's no point in trying to pander to the left. There's no point in doing that. Stand tall on whatever you believe in. Don't give them 1 inch, because they won't reciprocate. They won't give you an inch back. They'll just take the inch and then go a mile. That's how the left operate. They are hell-bent on getting what they want to get accomplished, not really listening to you and your particular viewpoints if it is different than their viewpoint. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what Logan Paul and crew said on this Impulsive podcast in response to Candace Owens? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. This is white liberals unmasked, uncut. Rather than Impulsive, it should be White Liberals Uncut. That should be the name of the podcast right there. Okay. And they come in many different shapes and sizes. You got Logan Paul, who's a big YouTuber, boxer, all this and that and the third. You got the other guy, kind of twerpy, kind of a world traveler, dude bro, frat bro type guy. You know, you got that guy. You got the other guy, he just pops in every now and again, says a few things. You know, and then you also got the blue hair harpies. You got those that exist. They're kind of diverse in the way that they look, but at the end of the day, they all think pretty much the same thing. They're very predictable. Having a debate with a Logan Paul or the other guy, it'd be simple because you know what they're gonna say already. They say all the same things, never really change. And that's a problem because they're not trying to hear any opposing viewpoints. If they were able to hear opposing viewpoints, then okay, let's have a talk, let's have a debate. But they're not interested in that. Maybe Logan Paul is. I like to see him go on the Candace Owens show. That'd be good. It might be kind of embarrassing for him, but at the same time, it could be educating for him as well. Most certainly. I think that'd be a good thing, but we'll see how it happens. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.